And now the Waihoro Spreydon-Cashmere Community Board. Good morning.
And our apologies to all those of you behind who have had to sit through all of this, but we are the last. We're like very many of the other boards. We have not much to report on, given that we've had one meeting this year and have already reported on the Christmas party. So I hope we'll be brief. I was impressed by the report from the East. Coastal on the duck down to the river idea, because we had a wonderful meeting the other night led by the River Network, the Waihoro Heskett River Network, in which she was talking about a kind of festival on the riverbanks, and the duck down to the river sounded wonderful. We've got no parties, and we had some traffic issues that were decisions under delegation. I just want to briefly mention that our traffic engineer for the last couple of years, who rescued our board from having no traffic engineer for a while, has been a wonderful contributor to the community board and to our communities. And he has worked extraordinarily hard, John Dorr, and has had wonderful attitude in dealing with the community. And we are sorry to see him go to a special project, but we are glad that he will be doing something very interesting. He and Steve, the traffic have allocated small amounts of money to the wards for some discretionary projects, and they came to us at just before 3 months before Christmas to talk to us about their ideas of what would be priorities in this discretionary operational money. We asked that we discuss this with them, and they came back to us with proposals, and we discussed those in a seminar, and we reached a conclusion about the top projects for our ward for the coming year for this very small amount of discretionary money. It was a great process led by John Dorr and Steve Wright. It was an engaging process. They came back to us with excellent figures on safety issues and amenity issues in our ward. We ended up with conclusions where the community board had provided input and they had provided input, and we came out with an agreed list of projects for the coming year, and indeed thinking about the year after that. And it was great. We enjoyed it very much, and it was a participatory process. Significant council projects in our board area. We've got Manuka Cottage. I can remember in 2014 with the convener of Manuka Cottage being told by staff that the Manuka Cottage would not be built until 2016, and both of us looked at each other and thought, oh my God, this is hard. And here we are in 2019, and it's going to be built, and we are really thrilled with it. And it is being built on the Cornelius O'Connor Reserve next door to Harmon Courts, so that there is an entire community there who will be advantaged by the presence of the cottage in their community. They have been hosted at St Mary's Church wonderfully. St Mary's Church has been just so welcoming, not only to Manuka Cottage but the wider community, including us. And they will miss Manuka Cottage going, but important things will still be held at St Mary's Church. But we are next door to a playground, we are next door to children playing. We hope that it encourages parents to come to the cottage, and we look forward to the build.
Quarryman's Trail Cycleway, so the sort of second or the final stage of it's underway, going out to Hallswell from Hoonhay, I guess. So that's pretty exciting, and my partner's looking forward to it because he's got himself an electric unicycle after all the lime scooters everywhere, and he can't wait to be able to use it. Correct. He looks very weird on it, and no one is willing to try it.
Mel's got a brand new baby, which people might not know about, but she has had a brand new baby in December. And
no, in January.
In January. She's been the most nonchalant mother you could ever come across, and the fact that Michael goes up Dyers Pass Road on his unicycle when he should be babysitting is an issue. And the only thing I'd like to say about the Quarrymen Cycleway is that this is again another thing where I wish the council put up signs easily read by passing cars to indicate to the community the project that are underway. The community does not know these details, and if we could concentrate on every time we do a major project in our community, putting up an explanatory sign which said something like, this isn't a housing development, this is a retention basin, filthy, or whatever the project is to benefit the people of Christchurch. Yeah.
Hoonhay flooding issues, I feel like I've talked about this already. It's probably because it was coming up, but we had the meeting with the residents and not too many people showed up, so I think that's because the information that was provided in a letter from staff explaining all the work that they'd done about drainage into the Heathcote from their place and how the land lies, etc., was pretty clear to them, and it showed that the council had done quite a lot of work, but the people came and they did ask some questions and there was a presentation, so I think overall people were quite understanding about how, you know, the retention bases are going to help them in the future, and that we're doing as much as we can really, but there are some things that can be still done, but which we could look into.
And Phil led on that issue, and he may well have a comment to make. Beckenham Primary School, the children there did a mural and on the toilets in that area, and they also have been working very hard on a project which is involving the health of the river. And they have been supported in this by our community board, but also the River Network, and they are asking for a special occasion. And I was so encouraged by what other people are doing in this area, that to be held near the river to talk to people about the kinds of things that go into the river, including white bread by the bucketful and rubbish and plastic and God knows what, and so that we can talk to the children in a more positive and affirming way about, like for instance, duck food recipes instead of white bread, in an affirming way about their interaction with the river and the fun on the river. And Tim led on this one from the community board, and he may well have a comment to make about that as well. We're well on our way on the community board plan, aren't we, Chris?
We are.
We are doing terrific work on it, aren't we? Chris is doing the terrific work, obviously. There's the mural, see all that, and see all the kids. Oh. And the community board end of the year network function went well, and we've already discussed about that. And is there what's
the movie night?
Oh yes, this is very cool. This is the dam up on the Huntsbury Hill, and
reservoir.
Reservoir, you know, God. I am elderly. I'm allowed to use different vocabulary sometimes. The reservoir. And they've long wanted to use it for something in the community. People have secretly had weddings there. And it looks a bit dour on the concrete, etc., but it's actually a lovely space. It's grassed and all that, and it's got this environment around it. And they had a movie night, and you can see that the attendance is great from what is a smaller community, and they had a great time.
And they're looking to hold it again.
And they're looking to hold it again, and paint the wall white. And the community board contributed to that as well. There's one more thing I just wanted to raise, and that is some of the ageing buildings that are used by the community in our area. But we've mentioned that before, but we look forward to staff involvement, and I know staff work is underway on the ageing resources in the community, and we'd really very much like to be involved as a community board. Thank you.
Thank you. Tim.
Well, thank you. And Beckenham School's been an amazing kind of school in our area, and those two of those projects were from both ends of that school. So the mural was a project that was done by the Year 8s, as they leave something in their community and environment. So they decided they've done these amazing outdoor nests in their school for outdoor learning, and they've got a whiteboard on the outside so they can teach outside. And my son, when I took him down to show him, thought, oh, what's going to be left on that whiteboard, as you could imagine, over the weekend? But no one has ever done anything to it. It's a lovely and precious area. But on the side, when you look through, you saw this hideous toilet block. So the Year 8s approached the community boards, and this is what they've come up with. So for
Fantastic.
our community board to support that was an absolute wonderful project and totally supported unanimously. So it's cool to see that. And as Carolyn mentioned, they're Year 2 and 3s that want to put signage along the river and do something along the river to educate people not to feed the ducks white bread, not to leave the bread bags, etc. And I think that when you see our signs, they're kind of very bland, you know, order its council, da-da-da. But if you see that from these young kids saying the same things, or as Carolyn mentioned, having recipes for duck food that are actually positive, I think that's an amazing thing, because our generation, I have to say, I think we're pretty appalling, but to see these young people, imagine what our city, our country will be in 20 years with these young people leading. I think it's absolutely outstanding and a real privilege to be part of. Just one more thing, and I'll be really quick. Huntsbury, I just want to commend our staff member Tim Drennan. When we were first approached by the community to look at the area up on Huntsbury, which has no flat land, with these reservoirs, and wanting this community to want to use it, we have got the gates from hell to protect it. It's an amazing setup. But you open them up and here's this amazing flat land, and when we got up there with Tim Drennan from council, he thought it was totally logical, and obviously there had to be some health and safety stuff, all sorted. So it's a great community facility, and again, totally supported by the community board, and it's wonderful to see it working. So there you go.
Excellent. So you'd like to move that, and seconded by Phil. Phil and Aaron.
I'll just make a brief comment, as Carolyn thought I might, about the Hoonhay flooding, because it's an example of, I guess, a lot of low-lying areas in the city. And my main point really is, yeah, there are now some mitigation measures in. There is no silver bullet, but staff have certainly done what project, or putting in what projects they can. I want to thank staff very much for coming to those meetings. They're always challenging, and you know, including on a Saturday morning. And certainly, though, we're all not only grateful for their attendance, but for the work that they have done, as the report indicates.
Yeah, it was just a comment on the picture. One of the children's drawings had crayfish on it, which I thought was quite cute for a river. And for those that don't know, New Zealand does have two forms of freshwater crayfish, and one of them is native to, the larger one is native to the eastern side of the South Island. So as we restore the river more, it would be great to have that reintroduced to that area. Either the kid was just making it up and guessing, or actually knew more than everyone at this table.
No, they would have known about freshwater, but they wouldn't have known what it looked like.
Yeah.
But the other thing was, though, at the meeting the other night, where Annabelle from the River Network was reporting, heaps of flounder up that far up our river.
Wow.
Heaps of flounder. All the locals.
Not after this meeting.
They don't know where they're going.
Yanni?
Yeah, I just wanted to commend the board and the staff for having a meeting around the flooding with the local community. I think nothing beats actually getting people in a room with the elected members, the staff and the local residents to talk through what the issues are. So I just really wanted to praise the staff for doing that. I think it's a really good response.
All right, and I've just added, with your permission, to the resolution. I can't see it. We've got a technical issue, but it's along the lines of request staff to consider using signage to describe works, you know, so that people can see what the works are all about. So we'll find.
We've done before, but we'd really like it.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I mean, there's nothing like it, you know. Yeah. All right. So I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried.